Hello, and this is Daniel, and welcome to another video of Help Yourself. Now, I'm doing this video on my Renault Clio. Now, it's a 16 valve 1.2. Now, as I have seen quite a few videos on YouTube stating that cars of this particular make and model is that they're having trouble starting. Now, I had the same trouble with this one. Now, it's a case of they put it down to an electrical fault, the reason why it wasn't starting. So I'd be turning the key, all the lights would come up on the dashboard, it would turn over a little bit, but it wouldn't actually kick into life. Now, two things actually replaced on this is the coil. Okay, now this here, okay, is obviously, which you'll probably know, leads towards all your spark plugs. Now, when we tested it, okay, when we pulled it out and had the spark plug still attached to this, just rested it on here, and when we tried starting it, there was no spark. Okay, but this is one of the common faults regarding to a Renault Clio, is that the ignition coil tends to go on these. Okay, now you can pick up one of these from like Euro car parts or something like that, and it only costs you probably around about 20 to 30 pounds, obviously depending on where like you go and what type of make and model of your car is. Okay, so we replaced this. Okay, we tried it again. All right, again it still wasn't sparking into life. So what we then ended up doing, okay, now I'll show you what the part looks like originally. It looks like this. This is what you call your crank sensor. Okay, now this was pretty clean when we took it out. Okay, but it's a sheer case of that when you, obviously these are magnetized. Okay, I'm not too sure if you can see that. Okay, but it's just not sticking. Okay, okay, I'll test it again here. It's just not sticking whatsoever. Okay, now your crank sensor, if you're not entirely too sure where it is, okay, now it is put under here. Now I'm not sure if you can see that, okay, but it's right down there. All right, it's fairly easy to get out. Okay, it's only 2 screws. Okay, and that's what helps starts off your engine. Now, so if the crank sensor isn't, because that's magnetized there, isn't sticking, okay, hasn't got a good magnetic field on it, okay, you'll need to replace that. All right, now once you've done that, okay, as you can see the parts, I've still got the old parts there, is a case of that should do the job. Okay, again, but the thing is, again, that little part there will cost you around about 20 quid, again depending on where you go. You can go down to a scrap yard, might get that little bit cheaper, but unfortunately if you're wanting a decent one, one that's brand new, it's going to cost you again between 20 and 30 pounds for that, whereas between 20 and 30 quid for that. So anyway, so once you've done that, once you've replaced that part, okay, because you'll have to disconnect the battery and everything else, so you not end up getting any kind of electric shocks. But once you've done that, okay, turn the key. All right, it probably won't start. Okay, and the reason for this is because you've disconnected the battery and everything else, and you've been replacing parts here, there, and everywhere. You'll need to sync the key back up to the car. Now, what you do is that you plug it in, you turn the ignition on, okay, not the whole way, press the key lock part of your key down, okay, and then once you've done that, hold it down for around about 5 seconds, turn it back off, turn it back on again, and it should kick into life. It might take a couple of turns to get it over because it has been sitting idle for a little bit. Well, this one it was sitting idle for around about 2-3 days whilst we're getting repaired. So again, to replace parts, it's the ignition coil, really easy to take out. It's just 4 little screws on this, one there, one there, one there, one down there. Okay, yank that out, put the new pack on. Okay, make sure they are obviously put into the right slots, okay, because it will be numbered on wires 1, 2, 3 and 4 which spark plugs to go to, and again the crank sensor, which is situated just down there. All right, again, very 2 easily cheap parts to replace Okay, save you going down the garage and spending an absolute fortune. So if you do have any comments, any queries, anything at all regarding to the actual Renault Clio, reason why it might not be starting, give us a shout and I'll see if I can help. All right, thanks for watching and thank you very much for your time. Also as well, give us a like, give us a comment, and it'll be much appreciated. All right, thank you very much. Bye bye.